Today we'll be discussing how to switch a slope-intercept equation back to a standard form equation. But first, let's just review how we go from standard form to slope-intercept. We've been doing this for a couple days now. So first thing we're going to do is quarantine that y term. We're going to freeze that. So we have to subtract 5x from both sides. So all we're left is the negative 6y. And then we always write the x term first, and then our constant. Now we're going to quarantine that y term even farther, so we are going to divide each term by that negative 6. So we are left only with y on the left. So now we have negative 5 over negative 6, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So 5, 6x. We've got negative 2 over negative 6. We can simplify that into positive 1/3. Okay, that's a good review. Now say we started with this slope-intercept form and we had to go back to standard form. So let's write that over here. Y equals 5, 6x plus 1/3. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is get rid of the fractions. If there's any fractions in your slope-intercept form, let's get rid of them. And we do that by multiplying the entire equation by the least common multiple of your denominators. So we've got a 3 and a 6. Our least common multiple is 6. Okay? So we are multiplying the entire thing by 6. So we are going to distribute that 6. 6 times y is 6y. 6 times 5, 6. If I need to do it over here, 6 times 5, 6. Okay. You can either multiply across, we can get 30 over 6 and then divide, or we can just simply start cross-canceling. Whoops, that should be a 1. Okay. So now we have 1 times 5 over 1. So this is now 5x. 6 times 1/3. Okay, we can start to cross cancel. We can divide each one by 3. 2 times 1, this becomes now plus 2. So now that we have removed all of our fractions, we're going to move both the x and the y term over to the left. The y is already here, so we're going to move this one over to here. So we have to subtract that 5x. So now we're going to write it in alphabetical order. Negative 5x plus 6y. This disappears and we're left with 2. The last step is we have to look at this very first coefficient. Is this coefficient negative? If the answer is no, you're done. If the answer is yes, it's negative, we have to get rid of it. We have to multiply everything by a negative 1. In other words, we're changing the sign on everything, multiplying the whole equation through by this negative 1. So negative 1 times negative 5 is positive 5. Negative 1 times 6 is negative 6. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. So we ended up getting our same equation. Now, let's do 2 other examples. So first, we're going to do y equals 3x plus 4. That is in slope-intercept form, so I am going to change this to standard form. First thing we're going to do we have any fractions? Nope, that's good. Now we're going to move our x and our y to make that over on the left. So we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. Write our terms in alphabetical order. Negative 3x plus y equals 4. This drops off. Now we have to say, is our very first term, does it have a coefficient that's negative? Sure does. We have to get rid of that. We have to make it positive. So we are going to multiply the entire thing by negative 1. This becomes 3x. Negative 1 times 1 is a negative 1. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. Here is our standard form. Let's do one more. y equals 1/2 x plus 2/3. So here we're going to first get rid of our fractions, get rid of our denominators. Least common multiple of 2 and 3, that means we're going to multiply everything by 6. So 6 times y is 6. 6 times 1/2 is 3, we have 3x. 6 times 2/3 is 4. Okay, so you can't do that one in your head. 6 times 2/3, we cross cancel, 2 times 2 is 4. Now we're going to move our x and our y over here. So we're going to subtract our 3x. We write 3x plus 6y equals 4. Now our first term is negative, so we are going to multiply through by a -1. That essentially changes the sign of every term. So we get 3x minus 6y equals -4. And that is how you change slope-intercept form to standard form.